It's been a long time. Right. Last year felt like I was in the middle of an ocean and I was drowning. I was struggling to stay afloat and I just didn't know how to help myself. But entering into 2026, I finally feel like I'm learning how to swim. Like I'm being held by the hand and I'm swimming towards shore. Shore is finally in sight and I'm swimming towards there. That's the best way I can describe how 2025 was for me and how I feel at right now. By that, I meant like 2025 was a very mentally tasking year for me, and I realized that I was mentally exhausted. I'm not saying that good things didn't happen for me in 2025. Yeah, good things did happen. But for the most part of it, I was not in the right frame of mind. And when your mind is not okay, it begins to show in the things that you do. And let's not beat around the bush with the metaphors. I have decided to do this video to give you guys a little bit of a live update where my mind is at and also let you guys know the 8 lessons that I would say that summed up 2025 for me and now and where my mind is at. Because it's one thing to recognize the problem, yeah, but it's another thing for you to work towards growth. And I've learned that rather than dwelling on the problem, you always have to look for a way out of it and grow and learn from it so you don't repeat the same mistakes. Now, before I go further into the lessons, please take each lesson, each advice you hear on the internet, to be more specific, like a grain of salt. Because what works for one person might not necessarily work for you. And you have to know which lesson can I apply to my life right now? Which one, okay, can I save for a specific situation? Okay? Now, going forward to it, I did like a bullet proof points of stuff I want to talk about so I don't digress too much. Yeah. And initially, I did a video like this before, sometime in January, but when I looked through it, it felt too scripted because like I did a script on it. And the way I function is that I just need to have bullet points down, and as long as it's something that I'm competent in, I'll be able to talk about it extensively. Me following a script makes me stiff, and it feels like I'm not really getting to express myself. So, yeah, that's just my full process. So, number 1, trust your guts. Now, what does it mean to actually trust your guts? You know that feeling when someone asks you for something. I'm just giving like literally example. Let's say someone is asking you for a loaf of bread. And let's say that this loaf of bread is the only thing that you have. And you want to share it with this person. But this person is saying, no, I want your whole loaf of bread. But because like you don't know how, you don't want to say no to the person, you don't want to hold your boundaries firm, and at the same time, you don't want to look like a bad person. You're feeling this feeling within your chest, this tightness in your chest that you don't want to do this, but you do it anyways. And that's you literally betraying yourself. You're not listening to your gut, because at the end of the day, when you do give out the entire loaf of bread, you're left with nothing. And maybe that's literally the only food you have. And you may think that, oh, you're doing you're doing someone something from the kindness of your heart, but you're literally leaving yourself with nothing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like, the more you don't say no to situations that are deeply going to inconvenience you, that are deeply going to hurt you, or something you can foresee that is going to hurt you in the long run, but because of people pleasing, you're trying not to get on anyone's bad side, you don't want to hold your boundaries firm, you betray yourself, and that's you not listening to what your body is already telling you. Now, let me give you an example of something that happened to me in the past. So I made a video like some time ago about how I got into a car accident. Now, period to that day, like I was going for like a job interview, and I had this sinking feeling in my mind that I shouldn't go. But I felt like, oh, this is an opportunity. I was invited to this. I should just go. I should just go for it. You never know what could happen. But on my way there, I kept on feeling that I shouldn't go for this thing. Something is wrong somewhere. I just couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from. And lo and behold, I got hit by a car. And now this also appears, I know life happens. I can laugh about it now, but when it happened was not pretty. And for me, each time that I didn't listen to what my body was telling me, I ended up paying a heavy price for that. Another way this can appear is staying in rooms where it's obvious you're not meant to be there. Like, have you ever entered a room and you just have this feeling that something feels off? And because, oh, you can't exactly pinpoint where this discomfort is coming from, you stay. Sometimes for no good reason, or because you're trying to satisfy someone's request. And then in the end of the day, you pay the price. Another thing, way this has happened to me before as well, was there was a time while I was in uni, I was waiting for a friend who went to see a teacher, but I was really tired that day and I wanted to go sleep. But because I wanted to go back to hostel with her, I decided to wait for her. And I entered into a classroom. And lo and behold, as I entered that classroom to sit, literally another teacher walked into that classroom. And let's just say that um they got the wrong people, and everyone, including me, that I didn't do anything, got into trouble. And I was just like, this was something that could have been avoided if I just listened to my body that needed to rest than to push past that and stay in an uncomfortable situation. No, it was not bad that I wanted to wait for my friend, but my body was telling me I needed to go rest. And even when I entered the classroom, I felt something was off, but I stayed regardless, and that ended up putting me in trouble. Yeah, funny how these things work, but that's why I say always trust your gut. So the second thing I would say is have and hold your standards dear to you. I will say this so much because I learned that when you don't have standards, or when you don't hold yourself up to that standards, you end up betraying your values. You end up betraying yourself. Let me give an example. So I've been in past relationships in which, like, okay, I know that I value someone that actively communicates with me. I set that standard to myself because that's literally like the bare minimum that you could do. And this person wasn't actively communicating with me. Like, I'm not saying that you have to tell me where you are at every given point in day, but follow me along with your plans. Like, let me know so I'm not always left second guessing or feel like, oh, I'm the only one that gets to know any life updates, know what is going. I'm always the last person. I'm always the short end of the stick. And this person felt like, oh, it's no big deal. But for me, that's something I value, and it's something that it's literally like the bare minimum for me. And because I didn't want to lose this person, yeah, I ignored that standard. And in the end of the day, I was the one hurting myself because I always felt like I wasn't a priority. And because like that communication wasn't there, it led to so many assumptions and so many misunderstandings between us. And just know that when I talk about relationships here, I'm not just referring to romantic relationships, I'm also referring to friendships and other forms of relationships too as well. So your standards are literally formed from what you value. Like, that's what I believe your standards, what forms your standards. And those standards are meant to be like a guide for things that you allow, for things that you accept, for how people will treat you. And if you keep on ignoring that, like, you want to be treated a certain way. Let's say, for example, your standards is that if I'm with any guy, the guy has to be able to open the door for me if he's walking with me. But to someone, that's not that standard. So when you're now with a guy that is not doing that, you start feeling uncomfortable. And when you now stay, you're trying to, I don't know, trying to shift your standards around and trying to throw some things around, you're only hurting yourself in the end. That doesn't necessarily make the other person a bad person, but it's because it's doesn't sit right with you. And because you're staying in that uncomfortable situation, you are betraying yourself. So your standards, like the same thing for friendship as well. Let's say you what's the word? You're the type of person that in friendships you value someone that, let's say that, okay, let me give an example now. One of your standards is that you value someone that has integrity. Yeah? Like the person can doesn't just easily betray their values. I'm just like setting an example. And you end up being with friends that defy what you think is moral, because literally morality is subjective to everyone. And because like you don't want to lose these friends because of the attachment you formed with them, but you staying with them, it makes you feel uncomfortable because it's not the standard that you've set for yourself. And when you follow a standard that is not set for you, you start betraying yourself, and the only person that is going to be hurt is you, and that doesn't make the person a bad person. Then the next turn is dwell more on the positives. It's so easy. It's literally so easy to get swept up with the negatives that are happening, with the noise in the backgrounds, like the way I used to call them background noises. Because the thing about life is that on the way to success or the way to achieving your goals is not always a straight path. You're going to meet a lot of bumps. But if you're too focused on that bump and you don't pick yourself up, you're going to still there and you're going to miss your goal. You're going to lose focus. And for 2025, I felt like even though there were good things that were also happening to me as well, because I kept on concentrating on the background noise about so many things that literally my head was filled so much with what was going on with me, with what was going on in the background noise, more than where my vision was, more than where like my goals, more than what I wanted to achieve. And at the end of the day, I only had myself to blame because those background noises will always be background noises. If you give them that so much access to your life, something that is not ordinarily meant to affect you. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm really hoping you're getting my point. Like, let me use for example. Okay, for example, now let's say you're someone that is active on social media, and someone posts like a negative comment about you. Let's say you're someone that you're trying to find confidence in your hair, yeah, and your niche is hair care, and you're struggling to grow your hair. You're basically talking about your journey. There are always going to be people in the comment section that say, "Oh, your hair is ugly," or "Oh, do you actually think your hair is good?" "Oh, there are too many of these people online. What makes your own different?" If you get swept up by that negative comments, yeah, because they will definitely going to come, and you get so like you let it get so much into your head because they are nothing but background noises. And if it lets it get so much to you, you literally see that you stop doing what you love. And those ones will take your voice away from you. You don't want that. You don't want someone to stop you from doing what you love. Because at the end of the day, only you know your vision, only you know your goals, only you know where you want to reach. No one is going to understand your dream so fully, like so in depthly more than you. Yes, you're going to meet people that are on similar paths that will equally encourage you, but it is your dream. You understand it better than anyone else. And if you let just someone that doesn't even know what you're trying to build tell you that what you're doing is rubbish, what you're doing is trash, and you believe that what you're doing is trash, definitely is going to be trash because that is what you believe. And if you let those things cloud your judgment, you end up not doing anything and your focus will just be scattered all over the place, focusing on the wrong thing. Yeah. So The next one is to reflect constantly. So usually like every once in a while, but I decided to do it like every time before I go to bed or as often as I can, reflect on how your day went. Don't allow like one negative. Sometimes I know bad days happen, but don't allow the bad to always cloud the good. Try and find at least one positive thing that happened to you your day. You got out of bed. Believe it or not, it's still an achievement. You are able to eat. You were able to take a walk. You were able to exercise. And as long as you did one thing to be grateful for, that would be good. And reflect on things that to be grateful for, maybe the things that went wrong and what you can do to do better, what you can do to be better. And that's how you grow. You have to make sure you're introspective, you're constantly reflecting and doing the inner work. Because if you don't do the inner work, nothing is going to change. Yeah, you have to reflect on your habits and start doing good habits. It's as easy. It sounds, oh my God, what was I trying to say? It sounds easy right now, but I know it's not easy, but you literally have to do the work because no one is going to do it for you. Now, you have to learn to work with yourself, not against yourself. On this, so I remember when I said that take every advice with like a grain of salt. What works for one person may not necessarily work for the next person. Someone may give you advice, yeah? It's sometimes because the person does not understand the extent of what you are going through or does not understand in depthly what the situation is. They're giving you advice based on how they will handle it if they were in that situation. They're giving you their own opinions, and some of them don't fully understand it. Some of them may not have enough empathy to understand what you're going through. And if you take someone's advice just like that, you literally see yourself making so many mistakes that if you handle it based on your own judgment, because only you have the proper understanding of what you're going through, and if you handle it based on your own judgments, that situation would have turned out a whole lot better. Let me give an example. So I had a friend, let's say they were like two friends now, yeah. One friend was having issues with with an extended family or so, and she came to this other friend on how to handle the situation. And one other friend told her that, oh, this person did da 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 to you. Why are you feeling sorry for them? That person is better off dead. Not the exact same words. I'm just like giving an example. This is not like exactly what happened, but I'm just giving like a case scenario, like what happened. And the other person felt deeply hurt. So are you saying that this person that even though they hurt me so much in the past, but like right now I just want to nurse them to health. And you're telling me I should just abandon them on their deathbed just like that, knowing fully well how important this person is to me. And it caused a whole lot of fight. And that might not be the best example to use, but I don't know if you understand what I am saying. Like I need you to really understand. Maybe that's not the best of examples. Okay, let's say, okay, this pen. I walk into a classroom and we're having a surprise test. I don't have a pen. I can easily ask someone for a pen, yeah? But the person on this side is telling me that, oh, the teacher is not going to allow you to borrow from this person. Oh yeah, you cannot write the test. This person is willing to give me, but because I want to take this person's advice that, oh, me doing this will make the teacher to send me out of the class, I'll not be able to do this test. If I answer that person, don't you think I would have failed that test? So what I would do in that situation is that I would raise my hand and ask the teacher, please, can you can I ask someone for a pen, or can I leave? If the teacher is nice enough, you can allow me to ask someone for a pen or may give me a pen. Though I may get some snarky remarks, but I will still get a pen to write that test. Now, do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it's bad for you to take advice, but wait, wait first. And it doesn't mean you're not listening to the other person. You're weighing it and you're figuring out how best to handle the situation. And the best thing you can do is to leave every matter to God. Literally, let Him be the one to guide your actions. That's my own opinion. And trust me, the answer will come to you. You don't need to be in a hurry to answer any given situation, to like solve every given thing. Even if it's for like a few minutes or a few seconds, pause and think, weigh your options, and then respond. Now, the next other one I'll say is that everyone's capacity to love is different. My God. This borders on love languages and trauma and self awareness. Some people, love language is words of affirmation. Other people's own may be gifts. Let's say words of affirmation, a gift person meets themselves. This person believes that, oh, for me to show my love to this person, I have to keep buying them gifts. For this person, for me to show my love to this person, I have to give them words of affirmation. There's a mismatch. And because this one hasn't gotten to understand, oh, this is how this person's function, I'm only treating them based on how I see myself being loved. This person will take it that, oh, doesn't this person understand me? Why do you keep giving me gifts? And this one will be like, oh, why are you just sending me words? Why are you not giving me gifts? There is a mismatch. So you have to learn to love people in their love language. If not, there is going to be a whole lot of miscommunication, and both parties or one party will end up feeling not loved. Now, for capacity, people that have gone through trauma, like I think everyone has been traumatized one way or another. But the thing is that you have to get to that point of self awareness and wanting to grow. Because when you don't fix your toxic patterns, like when you don't work on them, rather, when you don't work on your toxic patterns, when you're not desiring to grow, and you meet someone who is actively working on yourself and is looking towards growth, there is going to be a mismatch. Because this person is coming from a place that, oh, they have serious PTSD. And you, because you're not self-aware, or you're not self-aware enough, you keep on doing things that trigger this person that has PTSD. So it's more of like you're not like deliberately trying to hurt them, but because you have not gotten to that stage of self-awareness, you don't even realize that what you're doing is hurting this person. That doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but because like you are not self-aware of what is going, you're not self-aware of your patterns, you're not aware of what you're doing, how it affects others, and how it's also equally affecting you. You are literally repeating toxic patterns that might have happened to you in your past, or things that you may have seen to someone else that is trying to heal from that specific situation. And the thing is that as long as you're not self-aware, no matter how much the person tries to tell you, if you are not willing to grow, you will keep on hurting this person. And you'll be surprised that this person will literally just stop wanting to be around you. That doesn't make them a bad person, and that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you need to learn to be self-aware and grow. Heal from your toxic patterns. Stop repeating toxic cycles. Because this world will literally be a better place if people learn to break the cycle. I think that's a whole another discussion. But yeah, and because like you're not gotten to that level of self-awareness, so your capacity to love someone the way they need to, it's going to be limited. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Because the way someone that is coming from a toxic place, I'm just giving like an example, and wants to heal, would love you because they don't want you to go through what they went through. You will be surprised how far, how one beyond they may love you. But you may equally be coming from a toxic place too as well. But because you don't really recognize why this person is being so nice, why this person is doing everything, you start treating them like they are doing too much when they're just expressing that love for you or just expressing themselves. So that's the mismatch. And so people's capacity to love is different. And learn to lean towards the love that you know you deserve, because only you know the kind of love that you deserve. And stop settling for people that their capacity to love doesn't match yours, because you would always feel like you're the one that is doing too much. Because you would have to lower it so you don't feel awkward. You would have to feel you have to shrink yourself for this person, because you want to grow so much, you want to heal so much, but because this person you're with is not on the same journey as you or willing to, it will always feel like they don't understand you, and you constantly feel like you're shrinking yourself rather than growing. And you shouldn't let anyone to dim your shine. It doesn't mean you love them any less, but you need to learn to love you more. Because when you love yourself, you genuinely love yourself, you will learn to lean towards the love that you deserve. Now, most of all this sums up that you need to focus on you. Do not forget this. You matter the most. If you're too caught up with everything going on around you externally, you always wanted to fix, you always wanted to give. Oh my God. And you don't set boundaries within yourself in the name that you want to be kind. Because believe it or not, kindness without discernment is self-abandonment. It's self-betrayal in lace panties, and you're only going to be hurting yourself. This is not me saying you should not be kind, you should not be generous, you shouldn't love people and everything, but you need to establish boundaries. Because if boundaries is not there in your life, a lot of people are going to micromanage you. You constantly feel like you are shrinking yourself. You constantly feel like no one understands you. You constantly overgive. And at the end of the day, you will be burnt out and you will be mentally exhausted. Learn to take out time for yourself. Loving yourself doesn't mean sheet masks, face masks, and other stuff. It means doing the inner work, doing what you need to grow. Yes, you can take care of yourself and everything. Yeah, make yourself feel nice, take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your health. But most importantly, you need to do the inner work and heal from all the hurt people have done to you, and focus on your dreams, your aspiration, things that make you happy, the things that give you joy. Because when you don't surround yourself with things that make you you, and you overextend, you overgive, you don't put boundaries, you begin to lose yourself. You begin to lose your identity. And at the end of the day, you will end up asking yourself, who am I? Because you've gotten so used to people pleasing that you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You've gotten so used in staying in places that you start questioning yourself. Is this who I am? This doesn't feel like me, because you're turning into someone that you know that you're not. Yeah. And these are also things that I really wish someone held my hand and told me about like years ago or so, because maybe I wouldn't have made some silly mistakes. But yeah, that's life. Everything is part of learning. And I hope what I've shared has helped you in one way or another. And like I said, where I am right now is like I finally feel like I can breathe. And even though it's not perfect, but like I am finally learning to swim and swimming to shore. And I am trying my best to focus on that shore and keep going. Though there are some days I'll be like, hey, I think I forgot how to swim, but I calm down, I take a deep breath and keep moving forward because I am determined this year more than ever. The changes, the dreams, and everything I want to see made, the changes, me being a better person, and every aspect that I hope to achieve, I pray to achieve them this year. And to be very honest, it's literally it's 5:29. It's 5:29 a.m. because I was crying some hours ago before I made this because something really triggered me and I struggled to calm down. And I was just like, you know what? I think I'm in the right frame of mind to do this now. And the calm came. So, yeah. And if any of these lessons resonated with you, anything you can relate to, please don't forget to like and subscribe, comments, leave the comments down below, and I hope to see you again. Bye.